Constitution, a forgotten marksman rifle that many folks touted as a ceremonial gun that didn't have to be good. In fact, it was ineffective just like its counterpart in Helldivers 1. And in the first game, it said, the M2016 Constitution is a reproduction of the old M1903 service rifle used in ancient times. It is fairly ineffective in combat, but is used within the Super Earth Armed Forces as a ceremonial rifle. Oddly enough, the ineffective weapon in Helldivers 1 could one-shot almost every unit below a heavier tank enemy, but in Helldivers 2, you can't necessarily do that in most cases, and also hitting that shot is way different. Let's go ahead and compare the Helldivers 2 performance and a little bit of Helldivers 1 and talk about what we could possibly improve without having to go too crazy, in a sense. We'll begin with, I believe, the automatons. We'll see what happens, actually. The stats are as follows: 180 damage, medium armor pen, rounds are load, so no wasting any ammunition. Capacity is 5 rounds. Recoil 30, not a big deal because the fire rate is 60. That's 60 rounds per minute. That is extremely low due to the bolt action nature of the weapon itself. You can discern a lot of things from just reading that right there, but also understand the durable damage is 50. Not particularly low for weapons in the primary category, but also not particularly high considering the extremely low fire rate. The bayonet does 165 damage and 83 durable. Billy Bobs. The troopers get one shot to the head and body using bullets, and the same applies to your bayonet, which, by the way, I won't focus too much on the melee for automatons because even on the smallest unit, you don't really want to charge out to them using the bayonet because they will absolutely slime you out. You'll realize why the folks at IGN don't like cheese that much, because you'll get turned into it. You'll get Swissed. For Devastators, if you land a headshot, lights out. From, I'm fairly certain, virtually all distances. That's if you can land the shot. To make that easier for yourself, I recommend being in third person, because even having a mod to give yourself a better first-person reticle, it just doesn't improve much. Maybe if it's a red dot sight, it could help, but you kind of need a scope. More on that later. If you don't land the headshot, it takes a while. It's about 5 shots to the torso, or the chest rather. The actual torso, the red section, is 2 shots for Devastators and Berserkers, and for legs, it would be 4 shots, which is not particularly ideal, especially given the lack of fire rate. You want to be able to kill things as quick as possible to make the weapon make sense to use. To even give it a chance at being viable, you have to be very freaking accurate. The moment you're not, you die. And even taking time to land your shots, you still might also die. So be careful. When facing Scout Striders, it is 3 shots to the jondals, and I believe 5 to 6 for the leg joint, which it may be a bit confusing because the leg shows a red hit marker. It's like, I'm doing good damage here, as opposed to that gross gray. No, you're not. Not in this case. Go for the jondals, the crotch, the midsection where the legs connect to. It's a much faster time to kill. And if you can, when facing regular Scout Striders, go for the headshot if possible. Even if it takes you a bit more time to line up, that's better than wasting 3 shots on the jondals. If you're facing Rocket Striders, shoot the rocket. It's a one-shot. You're chilling. And again, third person is just better for some reason. I was sitting there in first person taking ages to hit a shot. Berserkers are a one-shot to the head, and if you go for the melee, you cannot stagger them. Same thing applies to Devastators. It's just a sad ordeal. If you have to, it's 2 shots to the torso. That can be a little cattywampus to hit when they're hunched over forward, making that hitbox smaller. On gunships, I do believe it is 10 rounds. Kind of hard to verify. I could go to the wiki and tell you the number, but that's lame. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to say 10 rounds. Do understand they'd be drifting in the sky and stuff, and in that 10 round time frame, they can absolutely delete you. Like, they have better accuracy now. It's not going to happen every time, but it's just a risk. It's a risk not worth taking. I couldn't play against the Cyborg Legion, but the Radicals, these shirtless cyborgs, get 1 shot to the head. If you don't land that, good luck, brother. Agitators are the commandery guys. 1 shot removes the helmet, 1 more shot kills them. And do understand that when the Agitators are given their non-magical chant to increase the movement speed and accuracy of, and I guess fire rate of their compadres, the Constitution with a 60 fire rate may not really keep up that well. So, gotta factor that in, and also keep in mind that the automatons have guns most of the time. So you get bullet flinched, gonna get killed all the while have to deal with what the Constitution has to offer. So I wouldn't say that automatons are particularly its best faction. Oddly enough, at first I was thinking this is going to be pretty chill. I did a full solo clear. I did a second mission where I almost full solo cleared, and in both cases, I wouldn't say I had the best time. Now against Hulks, you can break the heatsink with your bullets. That's totally an option. Takes a while. If you go for the bayonet attack, I don't know if that's really possible because they turn pretty fast. If you're trying to destroy a tank's heatsink, that can be kind of sketchy, especially if they glitch out and they're not moving, and trying to climb them can kill you with the treads. You can destroy the treads with your bayonet though, semi-fast. I think it's around 6, potentially 8 thrusts, so that's kind of cool. Keep in mind the bayonet deals more durable damage. When you're facing things you can easily bayonet for a prolonged period of time and you want to destroy them using that method, that is the go-to option because it doesn't cost bullets. There's no real downtime. You don't have to reload. You just spam the animation, which is faster than shooting that deals less durable damage. So this is in reference to breaking, let's say, a automaton mortar emplacement, for instance. In Helldivers 1, you 2-shot berserkers, 1-shot comrades, immolators, hounds, even with a bayonet for those guys. It's freaking awesome. Big fan. Legionnaires, not quite sure. Squad leader, soldier, and initiates. So the majority of the light enemies get 1-shot. And by the way, it goes light and straight to heavy. There's no medium units whatsoever. That's freaking sick. Grotesque, those enemies absolutely suck to fight with Constitution. That's where it really feels like a ceremonial weapon, but that's the point in which it feels as though you're using the version in Helldivers 2. Now, I do want to mention quickly, in Helldivers 1, you do not have scopes that I'm aware of. It is top-down aiming, so I don't know why they didn't give the Constitution a scope in Helldivers 2, recognizing that things are different. Now, when you're facing a Hulk, those don't really have crazy armor. They have a shield, but they've got flesh. That took a lot of rounds. That's the difference. You also only get 50 rounds as opposed to the 99 in Helldivers 2. And when reloading, it does not reload every shot for you. You have to reload every bullet individually. Terminids have your Wilburs, these small orange scavengers that get 1 shot pretty much anywhere. And if you hit multiple, you can call out and kill them, which is cool. Same applies to pouncers. Those don't require any precise shots whatsoever. Past that, though, you will have to actually aim a bit. For hunters, if you hit them in the body, it can kill, but you'll often get a hunter that's just wounded and still living. So you do want to try and go for headshots, which is kind of odd considering how many there are and the fact of which not many folks will be hitting those headshots. They move sporadically. Just saying, though, that's the ideal approach if you can help it. When they pounce you, you can also melee. There are times where the freaking bayonet goes through them, it doesn't make proper contact, and they just get to hit you for free. Or they back off midair somehow as if they're parrying your freaking thrust. It's kind of messed up. Those guys are cracked on thin mints. You need to check their computers. Warriors. 1 shot to the head, they're now headless, and they survive for a little bit, not as long as they normally would, but they can still attack you during that time frame. At around 60 meters or so, they live the headshot, which I don't understand why. They buffed their durable HP, I believe, recently for some reason, so that's probably the reason, but it's a freaking Marksman rifle with 5 rounds. I don't think that should be happening whatsoever. Commanders take 2 shots to the head, Alpha Commanders take 3, and that is actually a lot. Hive Guards take 3 hits to their faceplate to initiate the bleed out. Stalkers are a 1 shot to the mouth, which can be tough to land. Shriekers can survive a body shot, but if you go for the headshot or a wing, that tends to kill them. And if you want to have a horrible time, use Constitution against the Spore Burst subfaction, because the warriors there survive a headshot from point blank, which is a little perplexing considering they can crack out their entire squadron with the snack that rivals crack, Goldfish, and they're also tankier. Now, it wouldn't be a good idea to bring this given just a speed boost, but I'm just saying, it's a little perplexing. And aside from that, I would not recommend Constitution for anything else, let alone most of the stuff. It can be kind of fun just against warriors and whatnot, but if you're trying to kill a charger, not going to happen. Even on the exposed limbs, your durable damage is so low for what it requires, there's no point in shooting it. So it's okay against some of the chaff. I didn't even mention how it goes against battle spears. I believe it's 3 shots to the head. It's 1 shot to the mouth, but that's pretty tough to land. And for nursing spears, it'd be 2 shots to the top of the head. In Helldivers 1, Constitution feels worse overall against Terminids, but you can still 1-shot Vanguard, Scout, I believe Shadow, and Warrior, and you two-shot stalkers and elites. Past that, you're facing heavies and tanks. The melee, though, one hit makes stalkers run away from you before they can even hit you, which is cool. I do not think it makes the warriors, or in this case, maybe it doesn't make the elites back off. They will just keep mowing you down. The same goes for a lot of the enemies. So there's not really the same stagger implementation. But you have more HP, and you also self-gen HP, which makes melee not so much of a detriment to the player. In Helldivers 2, melee seems to have cattywampus hitboxes. It doesn't actually land properly, and this can result in you taking damage, in most cases, a quarter to half of your health in a single hit. Things to think about. Illuminate, meat mobs, or flesh mobs are virtually never worth going for with Constitution, especially by itself. But let's say you know certain things get them hilariously low, then Constitution, just like many other guns, could be an option. Voteless, leg shot, jongle shot is in full effect. It's in season. Give them their handicap placards and send them on their way when they're now crawlers. If you can get collateral shots, it's, I wouldn't even say decent, but it's better than it would be otherwise. But that's pretty tough to do when you factor in the overseers. Those fellas take more than one shot. I'm talking the Officer Earl, no body cam enthusiast, the Crescent Overseer that mortar strikes you, and the Flying Overseer that has the light penetration or light armor head. That guy still takes more than one shot. And that's if you can land the shot, because given the slow fire rate, the Officer Earls, they shield after the first shot almost always before you can even line it up and fire. And because first-person reticle is so atrocious, the third person isn't great on overseers, those fellers, just because of how third-person aiming works in Helldivers 2. Their weak spot is their top of their head, so the background can take your reticle away from you, in a sense. And also the Flying Overseers have aim resistance, I'm pretty sure, where they can maneuver and avoid you aiming at them just in general. So, good luck getting value there on even 3 Overseers, let alone the 7 to 10 they'll be chasing you down on level 6 difficulty alone. If you like that challenge, go nuts. Have a blast. For the Appropriators, and even the Snitchbot 9000, those little flying drone guys, in general, they take 2 shots to kill with Constitution. The Snitchbot normally takes 3, actually. For the... I forget the names exactly. The Vericator, the Verocitor, that feller, and the other guy, the freaking melee John Deere. I'm not sure how many bullets it takes to kill Constitution. I know it takes about 7 to break the shield, if not more. I would wager probably about 6, maybe 5 for body shots on the exposed pilot. So, pick your poison there as well. I don't know if it'd be a wise choice whenever the Gatling guy is mowing you down. But if you want to risk it for the biscuit, the bakery is all yours. You can destroy the squid Tesla towers in 3 shots, which is fantastic. Past that point, maybe don't unstow the weapon though. 4 ship shields takes a billion years. Stingrays, about a few centuries. And on harvester shields, maybe a decade or so. The horns take 3 shots, and killing a harvester is a very long time. Now you may be saying to yourself, what no? It's not built for that. And you'd be right. In Helldivers 2. In Helldivers 1, you can one-shot tripods, which are basically harvesters in a sense, and that's after you break the shield, which also takes 1 shot. So it's a 2-tap, which is kind of cool. It shouldn't be that way in Helldivers 2, obviously, but it's just some food for reference. The Illuminate, I'm almost certain you can one-shot in Helldivers 1, would be Hunter, which is my name, Observer, Apprentice, Outcast. Those have no shield. It's 1 shot. You're good. Then you've got Obsidian Observer, Watcher, Tripod, and Strider. Break shield 1 shot, shoot them in 1 shot, they're also dead. Past that point, I don't know the exact numbers. But that's the majority of enemies for this freaking faction. There's maybe 4 you can't do that to out of the 10 to 11 I see, maybe 12. Is it the best since sliced bread? Not even close. But it can still do stuff, and it can feel good to use it for the challenge. Whereas Helldivers 2 it doesn't feel that good for the challenge. It feels annoying. How do you improve that though? How can you maintain the feeling of it being a challenging weapon, but still have it be less annoying to use? Weapon customization first and foremost. It needs the ability to have scopes. Up to a 4x, a stripper clip. Make it an upgrade. I don't care. Maybe even make an upgrade for improving the melee as there was in Helldivers 1. That'd be sick. Potentially heavy pin. Oh, what? We had that before for stun lance. It was actually kind of awesome. Just saying. I also believe allowing you to one-shot certain enemies. Overseers are a big one. The fact it takes 2 shots just feels terrible. The last change plays on the previous one. That's improving durable damage. That way you can actually have better breakpoints on certain enemies. For sure, Overseers, as mentioned, but possibly gunships by maybe a bullet or 2. Potentially Alpha Commanders, although I believe their durable HP is so heavy and so high that if you're tampering in that department, making it take 2 shots instead of 3, you could really scuff up time to kill on other enemies. Maybe handle those guys. Just saying. Just saying. But this would make it to where the weapon is far more engaging for the majority of players. And the only thing you couldn't revert, if you did all my changes, is the durable damage increase, which wouldn't affect that much. But everything else, having a scope, having a stripper magazine, improve melee damage, make them upgrade so players can remove them and still have almost the exact same weapon as they do right now. I don't see the problem in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would be the issue? I think that many people believe that challenge is synonymous with annoyance. If it's annoying, it has to be challenging. That's not how it's supposed to work in games. Games are supposed to be fun. And in this weapon's case, you would not believe how many folks defended it being not very fun for ages. For ages, incessantly saying the same old nonsense, comparing it to Helldivers 1, whenever, as I showed you guys, it was more powerful in that game than it is Helldivers 2. Not even talking about the aim aspect. Anyway, that's a video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know, so I can work on more like it, or I can do something different, because knowing is half the battle. If you like the hat, the stickers, the patch, those are on outwaysteams.com. My brother's business is not sponsored. He doesn't pay me. And if we can sell some product, I'll get paid in the future. And we can also make more cool things, which is better than just folks give me money for nothing. That's my thought, at least. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate your time greatly, and I hope you do as well. Have a good day.